Hello, church. Welcome to today's devotion. My name is Henry Loke. This is God's Feeding Station. Great to be with you again today as we continue in My Utmost for His Highest by Oswald Chambers, as I whack the microphone here. Today comes from John 21, 21 and 22. Lord, and what shall this man do? What is that to thee? Follow thou me. What is that to thee? One of our severest lessons comes from the stubborn refusal to see that we must not interfere in other people's lives. It takes a long time to realize the danger of being an amateur providence, that is, interfering with God's order for others. You see a certain person suffering, and you say, "He shall not suffer, and I will see that he does not." You put your hand straight in front of God's permissive will to prevent it, and God says, "What is that to thee?" If there is stagnation spiritually, never allow it to go on, but get into God's presence and find out the reason for it. Possibly you will find it is because you have been interfering in the life of another, proposing things you had no right to propose, advising when you had no right to advise. When you do have to give advice to another, God will advise through you with the direct understanding of His Spirit. Your part is to be so rightly related to God that His discernment comes through you all the time for the blessing of another soul. Most of us live on the borders of consciousness, consciously serving, consciously devoted to God. All this is immature. It is not the real life yet. The mature stage is the life of a child which is never conscious. We become so abandoned to God that the consciousness of being used never enters in. When we are consciously being used as a broken bread and as a poured out wine, there is another stage to be reached, where all consciousness of ourselves and of what God is doing through us is eliminated. A saint is never consciously a saint. A saint is consciously dependent on God. Amen. Have a great rest of your day. Lord willing, we'll talk again tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.